And we are live with BS Busters Lite. You don't know nothing. Now, the reason this podcast is jumping off is because I'm not going to be able to do the podcast for Saturday, because my weekend's going to basically be shot to hell till like Sunday at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening. So, so basically, I decided, you guys are my faithful watchers, and I can't just not give you what you want. So, I decided let's do a BS Busters in the middle of the week. This is the BS Busters that I would have done at the end of the week on Saturday, but I'm doing it in the middle of the week. So, without further ado, let me just let my guest my panelist introduce himself. There may be other people dropping in, but I'm going to let him go since he's here. Go, sir. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Kanashi Abamanito, and I'm here to say that popularity killed gaming as well as anything else you love.
And, of course, I'm Mr. Red Fox. You know me. I will be getting another Red Fox Friday. And together we'll be kicking ass and taking names. So let's go over the agenda for what's tonight. Kanoshi has a topic he wants to bring up. I'm going to let him introduce that himself. But we also will be talking about apparently the Emily Rogers NX leak was fake, and then we'll segue into a primer for Captain America: Civil War. But before we do, let's let Kanoshi get his topic out. What's your topic?
My topic is the PlayStation Neo, PlayStation 4.5. First thing I have to say about that, would you rather take the red pill or blue pill? Either way, you're going to die, so pick your poison. Anyway.
Mr. Anderson.
First, they use one Matrix reference, the Morpheus. Actually, that's a Greek god.
I am Morpheus.
But anybody who doesn't know Greek mythology would probably think that was a Matrix reference. In any case, I'm digressing. The PlayStation Neo is the PlayStation 4S. And what I mean by 4S, if you know anything about iPhones and generations, they usually have like half generations. Like you have the 4, and then you have the 4S, and then you have the 5 and 5. You know how it goes. Anyway, the PlayStation Neo, apparently, depending on who you ask, it's either as powerful as a GTX 980 or GTX 960. I'm not completely sure, and it might not even be as powerful as 900 card series, because I believe it will have a few bottlenecks. I don't think there's too much change within the CPU, so it's going to have bottlenecks. It's not going to be
optimized.
Yeah, optimized.
That's a dirty word now. We have to take it out back and wash your mouth out with soap now.
But the PlayStation Neo will have a special option. There will be the Neo option, and there will be the base option. In order for these games, in order to publish your games on the PlayStation 4, you must have both options, the base and Neo option. For example, if you're playing an online game, you cannot have a special Neo option for the online game. It must have all the features as the base model. The graphics can look a little sharper, whatever, but it has to have the same features within the game. Just a bunch of little intricacies to make sure that the people who own the OG PlayStation 4 aren't left out in the cold. But I could still see this fragmenting the user base, because people are going to complain no matter what, because that's how people are on the site.
And I can see third parties getting their panties in a waist about their panties in a knot about that shit.
They are. They're not. People aren't happy about it. The developers aren't happy. Consumers aren't happy. Is it safe to say that the PlayStation 4 was a failure, since they have to come up with this new half-step model to, satisfy developers?
Well, I don't know if it's a failure. I do know that, like, here's the thing: the PlayStation 4 was the most powerful 8th gen console released. Why should it need a hardware upgrade? That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean,
Exactly. Well, why is it that the most powerful 8th gen console needs a hardware update? I thought this
like,
was the lead platform for developing games. I mean,
yeah, I'll give you an example. Like, Lockheed Martin in the 1960s made the Blackbird. Now, the Blackbird is our stealth. It's technically a stealth bomber, but primarily it was used primarily just for like reconnaissance and shit like that. And it's really fucking stealthy and really, really fast. Okay, like insanely fast. Like there's been nothing to replace it because what it does very well, like very, very well. So like no one has ever made a replacement for it. I mean, we've got the stealth bomber and then we have the stealth fighter. Both of them were made by Lockheed Martin. Both of them do what they need to do very well. Although the Blackbird looks more badass because it's got these two jet engines on the side. The thing looks like something out of Star Wars. It's badass. But I digress. Like it's at the top of its game. It's the best of what it has. So why? And no one's replaced it. But if the PS4 is so powerful, like all these people, it's got power. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. Then why do they need a hardware upgrade? Because, I mean, you know, everyone was saying it's so powerful. It's so powerful. Personally, I just think it's all bullshit. I think all of this talk about power was just bullshit. And I think that the reason Sony is releasing the PS4 for the next a new hardware iteration of the PS4 is because basically Sony wants to stay on top of the game in the PlayStation, in the gaming market. So they're going to get suckers to go for the newest, biggest thing. And yes, they're gonna turn you into suckers, because if you have a PS4 and then you go out and trade that in to get this shit, you're a sucker.
Yeah, it's going
You got suckered. You need to go sit in the corner with that dunce cap on your head, because Sony just made you into a sucker.
yeah, it sure did.
Well, so you guys on excited for the new generation of Sega, the CD and 32X add-on? Y'all wait. What you waiting for, Nintendo to make one?
The only thing I can say about PlayStation is this. Shuhei Yoshida himself said, you know, we probably won't make a PS5. And if Sony can fool people into just buying a string of moderately more powerful PS4s for the next 10, 15 years, you know, God bless you.
You know what's going on, and I can already see this happening, but let's say that the Vision doesn't sell as good, so instead of having its own separate entity when it comes to like hardware sales, they're going to combine that and the original PS4 together. I'm definitely going to see that happening.
Well, they did that with the PSP. The original PSP was heavily pirated and sold relatively well. The PSP Go was a flop, but they combined the sales.
Oh goodness!
For those of you watching, the Q&A app is open, so you guys can ask questions if you want to. I'll try to answer them, if humanly possible. Yeah. Or not. Depends on, you know. Oh, we do have some questions here. This is a question from Patrick64. He's the one who wrote that awesome question. You know, is the NX gonna get him a driver's license? Last time, do you think the NX is a handheld? I think so, because Nintendo usually announces their handheld 3 to 4 years into the console life cycle.
Yep.
Yeah, I personally do think the NX is, or at least I'm going to stop calling it NX. I think Nintendo is what they're going to show in at E3 is going to be their next handheld. That's what I think. That's just me, though. And I think it's going to be backwards compatible with their 3DS, maybe even their DS. I I think that like people have said that it's going to have a huge amount of third-party support. I think the only Nintendo platform that has a huge amount of third-party support, they can still kind of get a huge amount of third-party support in, is their handheld. So, boom.
Yep.
Yeah. But look at the bright side. Their handhelds are always basically a miniaturized handheld version of their previous console. So basically, whatever their next handheld is going to be, it's going to be as powerful as a Wii U. So that's pretty damn badass.
Yeah, I just got here like 2-3 minutes ago because I was in the library at school for some stuff and whatnot. 'Cause I got exams coming up because it's that time of year again. So I don't know if y'all talked about Star Fox Zero and Polygon yet.
We did not talk about Star Fox Zero. Didn't it get an 8? Didn't it get a 7.8 out of 10?
I think that was IGN, but Polygon, it was like, it was like too hard on the control scheme, and they basically bitched and complained about it, and they was like, oh, we're not going to review this game.
Oh, well, I mean, it's Polygon.
It was something like that. But, like,
it's Polygon. What do you...
I hate to say this, but I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen to the media and the quote-unquote gamers, you know, because it's this and that. Oh, it's too different. Oh, it's awkward. Oh, it's hard. I knew this was going to happen.
Let me put it this way. At this point,
just like the Wonderful 101, same ordeal, and that was a platform. That was not platform. That was a platinum game too.
At this point, I don't really give a shit what reviewers say, because I mean, especially professional, quote unquote, professional reviewers, because most of them are full of shit anyway. I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, how many reviewers? We have a reviewer on YouTube called I'll call him Fumando Joaquin, and he's always getting mad about stuff. He's always really upset and angry and you know, like fuming about things. And then he gets to his end review and it's like, I give it, you should get it anyway, even though I spent 30 minutes bitching about it. You should play it. It's like, what?
Oh my god.
If you didn't get the Spanish, Fumando means angry in
yeah, I got it.
in Spanish. Okay, and we have another question here from Patrick64. Do you think that the corporate face Phil Spencer in E3 2016 is going to say the Xbox One 26 lineup in 2016 is the greatest lineup in the greatest Xbox lineup in history? Well, they're already claiming that it's the 8th gen console with backwards compatibility. I'm like, motherfucker, no, it isn't. It doesn't even have real backwards compatibility. You're emulating the Xbox 360 on the Xbox One.
Oh yeah, we have a little me and my friends have this little hangout in campus, and they was watching something on YouTube, and I heard an advertisement for Xbox One, and it was like, go, this console's now $299 to play the best console exclusives. I'm like, best console exclusives? I'm like, what, y'all got like a handful, like one handful, like 5?
They have 5. Killer Instinct 3, Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo 5, Sunset Overdrive, and
Killer Instinct.
I already said Killer Instinct.
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry.
That was the first one I said. I don't know what the 5th one is. I'm guessing it might be something that's coming out soon. Like, oh, Quantum Break isn't that good of a game, though. You can't say The Division because The Division's on everything else. Yeah, basically 4 games. My little shitty, quote-unquote, shitty 8th gen system, my Wii U, let me think of the exclusives I have on this system. Let's see, Wind Waker HD. Oh, that's a remaster. I'll leave the remasters off. Mario 3D World, Super Mario Brothers Wii U, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Wonderful 101, WarioWare, Let's see what else we got.
Yoshi.
Mario Maker, Yoshi's Woolly World, Canvas Curse.
Did you Bayonetta 2?
Bayonetta 2. That's 10 right there. Shit, I don't know. That's 10. That's 10 right off my head. My point is that Microsoft is just kind of Phil Spencer. You're a great pitch man, but really you got to stop telling those bald-faced lies.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we have another question here from Kaon Nintendo. Mr. Red Fox, are you tired of hearing about Nintendo NX rumors that make no sense? We need to get our heads out of our asses. People need to relax. There won't be any information on Nintendo NX this month. We have to wait until E3 before Nintendo gives us any information. I can't be the only Nintendo fan that just wants a great lineup of first-party games at launch, not a bunch of bad third-party games. Kaon Nintendo. Does anyone have anything to add to that?
Read that again.
He's 100%. He's 100% accurate. That's how I feel too. Like, enjoy what we have first.
Mr. Red Fox, are you tired of hearing about Nintendo NX rumors that make no sense? We need to get our heads out of our asses. People need to relax. There won't be any information on Nintendo NX this month. We have to wait until E3 before Nintendo gives us any information. I can't be the only Nintendo fan that just wants a great lineup of first-party games at launch, not a bunch of bad third-party games.
Well, see, that's the problem. He made too much sense there. He made way too much sense, and a lot of people don't like sense. They like to live in fantasy world.
And yeah, I'm gonna add to that too. I'm like, what's wrong with what you got now that we can play now? Instead of playing games, we're talking about rumors about an idea.
Because people have nothing else better. Look, listen. If these people were playing if these people were playing games, blowing out of their ass, had games running out of their ass on their consoles, they wouldn't have time to be worrying about what Nintendo's doing. Because they weren't going to buy the shit anyway. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, because I especially like some of the people that's saying like certain comments. They be like, "Oh man, I hope this game comes out on NX." I'm like, what's wrong with just having what we have now, which is the Wii U and 3DS?
Hype.
Oh my God.
We have another question here from Kaon Nintendo. What do you think of the HMK video saying that the Zelda NX not being confirmed? The Zelda, whatever. Do you think that Nintendo will still release Wii U games after Zelda Wii U comes out? I've seen a lot of videos that people still think that Zelda is the last Wii U game ever to come out. Just because Nintendo is focusing on the first part of the year does not mean there's no games second half of the year. There are games that we don't know about for the Wii U. I don't think that Zelda will be the last Wii U game. I personally don't think that. I think that there's going to be more games coming out to the Wii U than just Zelda Wii U. If not first-party Nintendo games, second-party Nintendo games, like studios that work. So you might see something from Atlas. You might see something from whomever. Yeah.
I guess people say that because that's been a cycle as of late. Because with GameCube, basically the last Nintendo game for that system was Twilight Princess, and then of course that was a launch title for Wii. And then you had Skyward Sword, so I guess people think it's some kind of trend. But
it could. Look, I don't know, man. I really don't know. At this point, I think we've had. Like, I can't say I'm disappointed with the Wii U. I mean, at least from Nintendo's end and the games they put on it, I'm not really disappointed. My only disappointment is the lack of third parties, and this is Japanese and Western. The quality of games they put on the system, most of them did not put forth a good faith effort with the system.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable complaint. They like, oh my God, it doesn't have 8 gigs of RAM or nothing that craziness. And I told you my complaints is the They're kind of slow on the virtual console side. Well, over here anyway.
The virtual well, in Japan too. It's just Japan gets more because they can release more stuff on the Japan side because they don't have to translate it. It's like because a lot of stuff, but it's always been like a lot of shit that if you're that type of gamer that you'd like to play only stays in Japan, which sucks.
But I say that because I hate to cut you off, man, but the reason I say that because I know the Wii Virtual Console Japan has like Chrono Trigger and like Final Fantasies. But it's like we don't have that over here, even though it should be a problem translating because they can just use the
it's already translated. Yeah, look, man, it's Square Enix. Come on, It's Square Enix. That's all you need to know. Here's what I was going to ask you, Neo. Do you have a topic you'd like to bring up before we move on to the other topics?
Nada.
Okay then. Okay, I like that. We have another question here from NL Piano. He joined us on a Liger LBC cast with Enduo. Someone told me this in YouTube comments. Your turd Wii U has performance of PS3 with CPU of PS2. Have fun playing your Weeaboo games on your Weeaboo U box. If I'd like to play pedophile games, I'd become a Muslim terrorist. What are your guys' thoughts? The fact that someone thinks that is indicative of the type of person you're dealing with.
I was about to say, well, what about PlayStation 4 and all this anime style games that it has on that system? Let me guess, that doesn't count.
It doesn't count because it's the PlayStation. So that's all.
It's like hello, Final Fantasy 15. And
that looks more Weeaboo than.
Yeah.
That game looks more Weeaboo than you could possibly imagine.
It looks like a bad. I'll tell you, Final Fantasy 15 looks like a really shitty anime that like OAV anime that came out in 1988 on VHS, and someone someone picked up the rights to that and they said let's redo this in CGI with 3D animation and and we'll spend some money on it. Like that's what the shit looks like to me. But that's, I watched shit like that in the 80s, so because I was stupid and I was a little kid and I was an anime lover even back then. So I mean, I just think some people are just stupid and they just want a reason to bitch and complain. Like the reason people, which segues nicely into our next topic, the NX rumors and Emily Rogers saying her account was hacked and all that shit that was said on her thing was fake. The NX leak being fake. The reason people are talking about the NX is because you have a group of gamers who basically they so desperately want to have a Nintendo console that's cool. Yeah. They desperate like Nintendo. But here's the thing: Nintendo hasn't been a cool console since the NES.
I mean, they're not.
No, the SNES wasn't cool. The Sega Genesis was cool.
Well, I would say, remember I said later on the SNES was the cool console.
No.
Cool
SNES was never the cool console. Sega was cool. Then the PlayStation was cool. Then the PS2 was cool, and the Xbox One, the original Xbox were cool. The Wii was a joke console, and the Wii U is the joke console.
But cool doesn't always mean profitable, as we've.
Look, listen. Look, we all know that at the end of the day, as long as a company is making money and can make money to make the games that you want to play, that's all they really need to do. But when I say cool, I mean like consumers want to have something cool. It's like you don't want to have a shitty car in your garage. You want that thing that people can say, man, that's a cool car. At least shallow people do. And so they're people who basically want to have, they don't want someone hooked up to their TV that's not cool. They want to be able to brag to their friends, look at that shit I bought. It's the same reason why people buy expensive-ass smartphones that they only use for like 3 things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need Shadow Fox in here. Do you play games to have fun? Do you play games to impress other people?
Well, I play games to impress other people. That's what I... But, yeah. I mean, it's sad, but... So... Anyone else want to bring up anything about NX before we bury this Stop it.
Yeah, I realized NX is part of a Lexus line.
It is it's a new car. It's called the NX XLR 5200. It turns into a robot and it has video game controllers as the control option.
Does it turn into Bumblebee or Megatron?
It turns into like a blue robot with like gold flames on it. It's pretty awesome.
I want to add this into that. You know, like people keep forgetting that with that screenshot they showed, it was basically like, oh, it's gonna be like some kind of count system or something where it's gonna connect the consoles, the handhelds, and it's like people forget that just because the NX itself, the X usually means like cross, like Project Cross Zone, and the N just means Nintendo. So it's like, thank people.
Man, I don't know. At this point, I'm gonna enjoy playing my Wii U, just like I've been enjoying for the last few weeks. I've been playing.
What?
I've been doing a hardcore run of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door.
But Brad, according to the gamers, having fun with Wii U is against the law.
Well, it's a dirty word. It's one of the four. It's one of the four dirty. Well, the five dirty words, because optimization, budget, fun, color, and I don't know.
Optimization, fun. Did you say efficient? No, you said optimization.
Efficiency is optimization. So I mean, you know, and budget, but you know, people can't have fun. People can't have fun with their games. Yeah, I went back. Yeah, I went back and played a game that is almost over 10 years old now, and I'm having fun with it in a hardcore run. Hardcore run means that when I level up, instead of leveling up my flower points or my health, I just go for badge points. So basically, like, I have like 15 health, 15 flower points. So like, I can't take a lot of hits until my little character dies, and I have to learn how to do perfect counters and shit like that. It's pretty tough. I'm enjoying it though. So yeah, yeah, no one's gonna talk about that because it's not cool. So with that being said, I guess it's time to segue into a primer for Captain America: Civil War. This movie is coming out in I want to say 3 weeks, May 6th, and it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's actually pretty. It's rated the highest out of all the Captain America movies so far because those that saw it.
Well, when real people come and watch it, when normal consumers, it's gonna go down, but it's probably gonna be up in the it's gonna be in the lower 90s, upper 80s. It's gonna be pretty good.
Is the movie industry, when it comes to the reviews, just as bad as the gaming industry? These big companies, these bigger reviewers, do they get paid off to review the movie?
Well, here's the thing. That has happened, but because newspapers and reviewers have to have a certain level of there's a certain level of professionalism you have to have, or you can't even get to that level. You don't see it as much, because basically, if it comes out that you're doing untrustworthy things, if you're a restaurant reviewer and you review a restaurant you didn't eat at, you lose your credibility, and then people don't trust anything you say anymore. Or there's video game reviewers who have never really played a game or didn't play a game in the series, and they're like, this game is terrible, blah 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 blah. It's like, if you played any of the other games in this series, you would know. But here's the thing, even though that's kind of the people who write those reviews are terrible, there are, the reviewer is supposed to be a surrogate for the average user, right? They're supposed to be like, okay, I played this game, I watched this movie, I went to this play, I'm just going to give you my general overall thoughts. Either, you might or might not like it, depending on what you like. This is what I like. There might be some flaws with this, but overall it's pretty good, or overall it's pretty bad, or whatever. reviewing itself is not a bad thing, because there's some movies where reviewers said this thing was awful, and I went and I was like, this film is fucking terrible. Why did I watch it? They warned me. And there's been times where I've watched a movie and I've been like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's a coin flip. Sometimes it works in their favor, sometimes it doesn't. But here's a primer of the film. It's based upon a big event that happened in Marvel Comics in the early 2000s called Civil War. Was it the early, like 2006, 2007, where basically there was an incident with the Incredible Hulk. He like destroyed this building that had school children in it, and they were like, people had enough. They're like, we need to rein this motherfucker in. So basically, this act is put through, the superhero act, which Tony Stark gets behind as Iron Man. He says, superheroes, like, their identities need to be known so that we can, if they do something shady, we can come on, we can apprehend them and prosecute them, and they can be cataloged, and we can keep up with where they are and stuff like that. And of course, Captain America pops up and he says, well, that ain't right. Now, we all know Captain America. This is Mr. I fought against the Nazis for our freedom. He's not having that shit. So there's this interesting dichotomy that Tony Stark in the comics is like seen as this total villain. Like heroes need to be policed by the government, and they need oversight. And Captain America's like, no, because we're here. Like, the reason we're heroes is that we choose to fight. Excuse me, I'll pardon me.
What do you think? What do you think of the? What do you think of it? The Captain America thing, Captain America Civil War.
It looks pretty interesting. I'm definitely excited. Well, let me check when it comes out. Comes out May the 6th. What I think what I'm gonna do, like I'm supposed to be out of town that weekend. Like, that's the week classes are over for the semester. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna catch the matinee. And then, like, me and my friends are going out of town for a little bit, so then from there we probably get on the road to check in the hotel, if all goes planned. In the meantime, well, fine.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I looked at it, read it. It does come out May the 6th. I'm gonna catch the matinee.
Yeah. So if you're gonna go, look, I tell anyone this: if you're gonna go to the movies, go to the matinee. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, the dichotomy. So, like, basically, Captain America says, well, there's no friggin' way that, like, the whole point about being a hero is that you choose to fight. You choose to fight against, tyranny, evil, stuff like that. Like, the only thing that can really control that a hero has is their choice, their choice to fight. And for doing this, they take all types of things upon themselves. And the only thing that gives us any type of freedom and to have a normal life is that we have our secret identities, right? So, like, I mean, think about it. The only way Superman can get to be a normal life, can have a normal type life, is when he's Clark Kent, or he goes home to his parents or his mom who's still alive, and he's like, he's got all this power, but to her, that's just her son, right? You get it? You get the whole idea thing? You get the idea of the freedom? Okay, so the entire Civil War comics is, you have, like, this thing comes to a head, the heroes choose sides, Avengers, X-Men, even Spider-Man, that little shit gets involved with it, and he chooses, like, at first he's on Captain America's side, then he's like, no, I'm going to go with Tony Stark, and he actually unmasks himself on national TV in the comics, which is kind of weird because, like, Spider-Man's like a 60-year-old comic at this point, and Spider-Man, like, there's been fights in the comics where Spider-Man ripped his mask and he ran away from the fight because he really doesn't want to bring the type of shit he gets involved as a superhero home when he's not being a superhero. But they completely wrote Spider-Man in a completely different way for the shock value, and it fucked up his life because superheroes need to have their secret identities. So, yeah, that was Civil War. It ended with Captain America beating the holy shit out of Iron Man by himself with just his shield, and it was fucking awesome. And right when he's about to bash Tony Stark's face in with his shield, he says, "What have I become?" And he drops his shield and he walks away, and he's gonna go and like go to jail, and he's shot and assassinated. And that was the point where I just said, "Fuck Iron Man." I stopped caring for him as a character, because Captain America has always been one of those. You know, he's one of those like total good guys that, like, even when he's fucking up, he's doing it for, he thinks, a good reason. So you kind of root for him. And so yeah, that was the comic. It had some really interesting fights. The ideas that it tried to bring up, you know, freedom versus security. Should you give up your freedom in order to have more security, or should you have less security and have more freedom? Wasn't handled as well as it could be, but it was handled overall better than Batman v Superman. So yeah, so that's a little primer for Batman versus Superman, or Captain America: Civil War. Pretty good film. I heard it was pretty good. Don't take my word for it. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome. I have faith in the directors and writers of this film. Kevin Feige hasn't fucked it up yet, horrifically. Even the bad Kevin Feige films aren't that bad, except for maybe Daredevil. Daredevil was pretty bad. Not the TV series, the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Yeah.
That was terrible. But aside from that, Kevin Feige hasn't fucked it up. So with that being said, I guess it's time to move on to the fun topic of the week. Kenoshi, you there?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
Okay, we're at
I'm
the
here.
fun topic of the week. And don't be afraid to get deep, okay? Now here's the fun topic of the week. What game would you like to see get made that has no chance in hell of ever being made? Like, if you took a snowball and threw it into the core of a sun, it would melt before it made it a little bit. Like, that's how low of a chance it has of getting made. But you just want to see this game get made. Who wants to go first?
I want to see an anime game like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, a fighting game with the intricacies of like Street Fighter. That's what I want to see. It's never going to happen because, you know, everybody wants to feel like be super powerful, but to actually, you know, have those intricacies, have that half circle, you know, pushing the A button and the R2 trigger at the same time, pull off something cool, I think it's more satisfying than, you know, pushing left and then circle or something like that. You know, because I've been playing, practicing on some of the Street Fighter games. Like, it's satisfying when you can pull off those complex attacks, and that's something I've been wanting to see for a while out of those anime side games.
Okay, all right. So that's this shit's never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen, no, because whatever reasons, and plus they want to make their audience as big as possible for those games. But yeah, that's my wish.
Okay, all right. You got anyone else you want to do? Because when I do mine, I'm gonna get deep now. But we got time. But I'm just saying, you sure you don't want to bring up anything else? It's totally impossible. It's never gonna happen.
A good Harry Potter game. a Harry Potter game where you have, it's not an MMO, but it's an RPG. You have, of course, all the characters would be mages, but you have different classes of mages. Like, you have a brute mage, or like a knight mage, or a healer mage, or something like that. And it wouldn't be necessarily based just in Hogwarts, but it would branch out outside of Hogwarts and go and expand that universe a lot more than the books did. That's something I would want to see, just to see more of that universe, see what sort of stuff they could come up with for that universe.
I only have one thing I'd need to see in that game. Let me play as a Professor Lupin type character. Like, yeah, he's using spells, but then shit gets a little rough, and he's like, fuck this. He puts the wand in his back pocket. He's like, you know what? You've done it now, and he rips off his shirt, turns into a werewolf, and starts eating people. I totally play that. It's like, you done fucked up now. Maybe have a giant character be like, you done fucked up now. What you gonna do? Step on me? No, you done made him mad. He's taking off the shirt. I'm getting in this car. You're on your own, son. What's he gonna do? Oh God! Oh Jesus! He bit my arm off. Oh God, no! Please stop biting my arm. Ah. He ate my arm. He ate my arm. At that point, it'd be over. But yeah, that'd be an awesome game. I'd play it.
Yeah.
So, Cage, it's your turn.
Yes.
Go ahead. What game? Never gonna get made, but due to monetary, IP holder, just the nature of the game, but you would like to see it made.
Mighty Number 9.
Ouch. Ouch. That's great comedic timing. Congratulations, sir.
You know what's coming, Red. Final Fantasy 5 and 6 remake on 3DS. You know that is not going to happen, which is
done in what style?
Cause because they done it with Final Fantasy 3 and 4. They put those on handhelds, but it's like 5 and 6. Like, nah, we gonna put those on iPhone. And which is unfortunate because with the 3DS, like, could you imagine with the 3DS? Imagine like the chibi style, but it's in the 3D art direction, and basically they took everything that basically made the original good, and the extras they had for the GBA version, put them all together, and on top of that, basically do like Final Fantasy 4. They gave the Silicon Studio, and they had like voice acting stuff. It was actually a pretty good port too, I must say. And I don't even like for them. Well, in terms of 5 and 6, I don't even like for them to maybe well, not necessarily an after story, but more like have it where you can start a new game over, like New Game Plus, kind of like a la Chrono Trigger.
For Final Fantasy 6?
Well, 5 and 6, I love that, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
I think every RPG now should have a New Game Plus. I don't care what RPG it is, you should have a New Game Plus.
Yeah, I've said it before. I would like for a Mario one to have one. So,
well,
I think it'll work.
Like, the nature of Mario, I don't think New Game Plus would really be that helpful, because like a Mario game isn't really based on the items you collect, or it's based on the skills you learn as you play through the game. Because like, when you play a Mario game, and then you learn how to do stuff, it's like, man, this shit's hard. But then by the end of the game, the shit that you thought like 6-7 worlds earlier, that shit was hard. You're like, you're doing it, it's nothing. You're like, yeah, I bounced on that wall, jumped on that dude's head, ricocheted off that dude, went over here, ran across that rail that I'm not really supposed to run across, but fuck it, I'm Mario. But definitely, they need to make a New Game Plus for Legend of Zelda games.
Oh yeah, that would be
like you start with everything except the Master Sword. Like story specific shit, you still got to do the quest chain to get that. But I shouldn't have to go through these tutorials and you found the bombs. Come on, man, shit. Don't make me do that shit again. Don't make me do it again, bitch. So that reminds me. So anything else?
I got one. we need to have a crossover fighting game with Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat. That needs to happen already.
But that could happen though. That could totally happen. If the way Microsoft has been going, that could totally be a Killer Instinct cross Mortal Kombat, and I would play that game. I would buy that game. And guess what? That game would come to PC too.
I think there should be an East versus West with Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat.
No, that will never happen.
Yeah, but this is stuff that'll never happen. Could you imagine that? Versus Ryu, Sagat versus Shang. Well, no, Shang Tsung would be more against Dalzim. Kung Lao versus Fei Long, Cammy versus Katana.
That's more Sonya Blade.
Chun-Li,
Yeah,
Chun-Li versus Melina.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna fight Raiden. Maybe no. Maybe who? Dan? No.
Dan Hibiki versus Johnny Cage.
Akume versus Raiden versus Akume.
Akuma. Yeah,
Akume. I just want to see. It's gonna be a god versus a demon. That would be fucking awesome. And then have the Emperor. What's the Emperor's name? I forgot his name. Shao Kahn versus Sagat. Because I know M. Bison is badass, but in terms of just like size, the only dude I think of size who could match him size-wise is Sagat. Because Sagat and both of them are cheap bastards. Tiger kick, tiger knee, tiger uppercut, tiger punch.
M. Bison's a pretty technical character to use because when I play Street Fighter V, I don't see a lot of M. Bisons.
Man, all I'm gonna say is this: the Bison in Street Fighter V is not Bison. Enough said.
Yeah, you don't like.
It's not Bison. That's some dude. That's some dude who stole a red trench coat and the hat, and he's like, "I'm M. Bison. You're not M. Bison. Go play Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 2. That's M. Bison. He doesn't have a projectile. He has Psycho Crushers." And not like as a finisher, like literally that's like one of his primary moves. He's cheap as hell. He does that slide kick. It's just cheap, bastard.
Mm-hmm.
I digress. Okay, so yeah, that'd be awesome. Anything else? It's impossible. It'll never happen, but you'd like to see it made.
Yeah, just when you think you got M. Bison, he does that jump in the air. You're about to do like an air kick, and then he jumps on your head and it's over.
Yeah, he's cheap. He's the Mario. He's like Mario. He's like, oh, you got me. Nah, bitch. Ah, you bastard. Why? That's not even a martial arts move. I learned it from a good friend, Mario. I taught him everything he knows. We both wear the same hat, bitch. I gave him that hat. He learned my stomp move, and now he's got the hat. We got first row tickets. My friend M. Bison's gonna kick your ass. Really? Yes, he's gonna kick your ass. I'd play that crossover. Since they already got Ryu in Smash Brothers, why not just cross Smash Brothers with Street Fighter? We can get 8-bit. We could get 16-bit Guile, 16-bit Sagat, 16-bit Dalzim, 16-bit Akuma, 16-bit Cammy, 16-bit E Honda, 16-bit T-Hawk.
Yeah.
Man, look. There were 3 games that came out in like 3 years that had the same fucking Indian Native American dude, but the slightly different name: Chief Thunder, T-Hawk, T-Bird, Nightwolf. I can't keep up with all these damn people.
The thing I really want to see is a Street Fighter game, an HD Street Fighter game using high-quality sprites. What's wrong with sprites? What is wrong with sprites?
We have that. It's called Street Fighter 2.
I think you should say that towards King of Fighters, Kenochi.
No, we have that. It's called Street Fighter 2 HD, Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition HD on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. technically speaking, those are HD sprites.
Yeah, I need to pick that up. Those games. How is that?
It's
How does it hold
downloadable
up?
though, but it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's fucking, come on, man, it's fucking awesome. If you like, see, I love Street Fighter 2. That's like the pinnacle of Street Fighter to me. So everything else beyond that, I'm like, it's okay. But is it Street Fighter 2? I'm that guy. It's not Street Fighter 2. Then I don't. It's all right.
Yeah.
And then after 3, I just stopped. I just kind of lost interest with Street Fighter. God, Capcom, what the fuck happened to you?
We're on the topic of fighters. Has any of you tried playing Skullgirls online? Man, it's rough.
No. I never liked Skullgirls because the guy who made it said something really stupid, and I was like, I can't hang with you, dude. You're stupid.
What did he say?
He said something. I can't even remember what he said, but it was so stupid. I was like, dude, I can't. No, I can't. No.
This is the perfect argument to why you don't deeply follow games. If you see a trailer, you're like, I can't wait for this game to come out, and don't follow anything, and just wait until they announce a release date, and wait till it releases. Maybe check out reviews here and there. You won't be as disappointed.
I owe everyone an apology. You guys tried to tell me that Kurt Schilling was a piece of shit. And it turns out he is a piece of shit, but not for stealing people's money, which I don't really care about. But for people's personal freedoms, total piece of shit.
What did he do?
Well, he wrote this kind of sexist, homophobic tirade against transgendered people using bathrooms, and posted this really kind of mean, like this caricaturous picture of a transgendered person, intersex person. I was like, wow, you are an evil son of a bitch. That's some evil shit right there. So, you were right. He's an asshole.
Who's Kurt Schillings?
Kurt Schilling's the guy who owned 38 Studios, big huge games. They made Kingdoms of Amalur.
Oh. Man, I really like that game, too.
It's a good game. Look, the game is good. The studio that he helped to put together, good game, but man, he's a piece of shit. He's like Tim Schafer. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in the Tim Schafer category. He's not as bad as Tim Schafer. He's worse than Tim Schafer because, you know, people who are going up against people because of their sexuality, I think that's kind of like, it's kind of a dick move, but you know, Tim Schafer just says stupid shit. But both of them made games I really like. It's like, I'll play your game, but you're a piece of shit. But I digress.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard when you realize the artist is a piece of crap, but man, he made really good music, but you are a piece of work.
It's like R. Kelly, man. I can't even listen to R. Kelly songs anymore. So I'm gonna put something in the chat. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll be back with my choices, with my my things in a few.
Hey, I mean, don't be embarrassed.
I'm just saying, man, look, you guys are gonna have to carry it for a little bit.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I'm trying to figure any other game. Oh yeah, like I know the was it the Mario and Sonic Olympic games? I know apparently it makes money, but come on, can we please have a platform with those two iconic characters already? Nintendo and Sega.
I think there's deep-rooted hate. I don't know.
I would say basically like I say let Nintendo develop the Mario side, of course, but let Sega develop the Sonic side, or have Sega do both sides, but make sure it is supervised under Nintendo, because if they go unsupervised, you know what's gonna happen. Sonic Boom, Sonic 06, all over again. But you know, supposedly there's gonna be a Sonic game they're gonna show soon because it's his 25th anniversary, and it's like it's 25th anniversary. I hope y'all don't fuck that up.
Remember, Neo, there's only been
What's
3
up?
Sonic games that were ever made. All the others, those are just bad dreams.
Well, these are the Sonic games I like. These are all, yeah, these are the ones I like. Sonic 1, 2, 3, Knuckles is CD, like the classics. Then Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Advance 1, 2, and 3, Sonic what is it, Colors, and Generations. Those are the ones I like. Everything else, tisk.
Yeah, actually, that poster that spoof you had, I actually do enjoy Sonic Heroes. I did enjoy Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, I think
didn't
that
it
was like the last like good console one until Colors came out in 2000. Like,
yeah, that wasn't as bad as what people were making it out to be. But
yeah, the only thing was the controllers were a little slippery and the camera was a little wonky at times. But I mean, other than that, it was fine.
yeah,
Colors was not.
It aged pretty good in terms of like
Colors was
graphics.
solid. Okay, Colors was solid.
Colors was solid. I
Yeah,
will
it was
give
a solid
you that.
game,
It was
yeah.
solid.
It was solid. It wasn't great, but compared to the shit that came before, it was like, wow, this is a good game. Well,
Sonic Lost World, they took some interesting steps that I hope they evolve on. Like it wasn't like the game wasn't great, but there were
was
some
solid. It was a
there was-
solid 3D platform.
there were
Yeah.
ideas in that game I really wish and hope they evolve on. The idea that Sonic has different run speeds, I think that was a smart idea.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I didn't.
smart.
Yeah, it was some. Yeah, Sonic Lost World. It was good. Like some modes were good. Like some of the levels.
It
were
was
good.
solid,
and music.
yeah.
But
It was solid.
just some of the other stuff I didn't care for, like the story. I just didn't care for the new characters.
Yeah, but Sonic doesn't have a good story. All he does is he runs fast. He fights a fat man with a mustache, and and he rescues small woodland animals. I mean, what else can you do with that shit? I mean, what, do you want the story where he gets kissed by a princess after he dies and comes back to
Oh
life?
no!
You want that shit, huh?
I'm sorry, but apparently Sega forgot that Amy Rose is basically the self-proclaimed girlfriend of Sonic, and she was right there when she saw the whole thing.
Well, she's not really his girlfriend. She's always chasing him, and he's like, "Get the fuck away from me, you stalker bitch." But I digress. I guess it's time for me to say my games that will never get made, but I would love to play, and I wish they would get made due to IP holder reasons, tone. So I got 4 of them.
Wait a minute, Red. I forgot one more.
Okay, go ahead.
A new Bomberman.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's not gonna happen because Konami. But I'd be.
You didn't-
I'd
you
love
didn't-
another Bomberman.
You didn't enjoy that glorious
Zero?
Bomberman Zero?
Yeah,
That was
Bomberman
in
Zero.
front.
That was the bomb, y'all. Bomb diggity, yo.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no,
I've never played that game, but I remember looking at it and it was like, I know little to like nothing about Bomberman, but even I was.
So that shit wasn't Bomberman. Yeah, I know.
That's not Bomberman.
Listen, look, I grew up with Bomberman. Bomberman was a friend of mine. Bomberman, I used to invite Bomberman to my house and play him with my friends on my SNES. And actually, if you had Bomberman, one of the Bombermans on the SNES, and the multi-tap, you could have 8 players playing on that shit. 8
I know that.
players! That sounds really big.
The only one I knew was the one on the Saturn. You can have 10.
If you had the multi-tap with one of the, I think there was like 3 Bomberman games on the SNES, and you could like, if you had one of them, I think it was the last one. You had the multi-tap. It could basically, you could multi-tap the shit and have like 8 people at a time because the multi-tap had 4. But I digress.
There was 5 Bombermans on Super Nintendo. Just we only got 2. The other 3 was Japan only.
I'm just saying, it was awesome. But I digress. Bomberman. Oh my god, I'd love another Bomberman. But
Just the fact that there's a console generation without a Bomberman. It feels wrong, you know.
well, shit. I mean, Hudson went under. Hell, we haven't gotten a Bonk or an Adventure Island.
I know another Hudson Soft game we never seen.
Bloody Roar.
Yeah, that one.
We got 2 of them, and they weren't bad games. Bloody Roar felt like the bastard stepchild of Dead or Alive, except instead of you being able to kick people out of the ring, you turn into a fucking furry and killed somebody, which is kind of cool. I like Bloody Roar.
And then not only that, but I don't know, like the Mario Party games, like it's just they don't feel the same because Hudson Soft developed 1 through 8.
Yeah, it kind of went down the shitter. So, I guess it's time for me to do mine.
I played Mario's. I think it was Mario Party 2. Like I enjoyed it, but that was it for me after this. Like, you know what? This one was fine.
I only played the last one I played was 7 on GameCube. So
I played 3 of them. I played Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, and then I just said fuck it. Like I was like, there was a certain point where it's like, you know, I can't play this game. I can't, cause it's the same shit over and over and over again. I can't do it.
It's all based off of luck. There's actually really no skill to it. Maybe with the
later ones, yeah. Well, the later ones you can kind of game the system, and you can kind of like you have more player control. The biggest one they did is the one on the Wii U where you can play as Bowser and mess up your friends. That's a friendship destroying game right there. Play as Bowser and let your girlfriend play, and then just destroy her. She's gonna be, look, you ain't getting none that night. But
you ain't getting nothing for a month.
I didn't do nothing. I was just playing the game. Why did you let me win? I was playing the game. That got a little too real. I'm gonna take it to my part.
I think you've been there. You've been there.
Actually, I haven't, because my girlfriend likes Dude Bro games, and I don't play Dude Bro games, so we don't have a conflict of interest, which is great because, you know, I'm not a Dude Bro gamer. So basically, I have 4 games that I would like to see made, but will never get made due to, you know, the reasons I stated earlier. The first one, I would like to see a revamp of Final Fantasy Tactics.
Ooh.
It would be called Final Fantasy Tactics Rebirth, and instead of being the turn-based style that we're used to, because most gamers don't like turn-based games anymore, apparently, it would be real-time. But it would have the rules of the old-school Final Fantasy Tactics games. So, like, if you're an archer and you get on a hill and you see someone, like, further down the hill and you use your arrow, or you're a gunner and you have a gun, you do more damage and you have more range because you're on a hill. If you're a ninja or a thief and someone's got, like, facing forward and you sneak behind them and stab them from behind, you're going to do more damage because you were stealthed or hidden them from behind. You know, like attacking people from the sides, flanking them, rear guard, rear action, stuff like that would be more, you know, you would translate all of those skills and abilities from Final Fantasy Tactics to a more real-time action state. That'd be fucking awesome. The reason this game will never get made is because the guy who made Final Fantasy Tactics left Square Enix. So, yeah, you know, I would love to play this game, but it's never going to get made. And I don't trust anyone at Square Enix right now to make a game like this, like at all.
What is this?
A Final Fantasy Tactics reboot, if you will. Like bringing it to a modern age. Because, I mean, personally, I like old school Final Fantasy Tactics, but I know that most modern gamers don't have the patience to sit through a 20, 30 turn battle. Because some of those, like, yeah, you could speed up some of those fights, but some of them were like, okay, dude, come on, we know you're going to hit me from behind, come on, do it. And I love Final Fantasy Tactics, but yeah. The second game that I would love to play but is never going to get made, and this is kind of a joke one, is Mario crossed with GTA. This is the story of how Mario came to be the champion of the Mushroom Kingdom. He and his brother get stuck in a pipe, get sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom, and they wind up basically having to rescue the princess. But they don't start out with the ability to rescue the princess. They got to do crimes and solve people's problems and shit in this huge open world. They're going to have to go to all throughout the Mushroom Kingdom, breaking blocks, getting coins. But now the coins have a purpose because they can buy weapons with them, hammers and fire flowers and super capes and all types of shit like that. It'd be awesome. But it's never going to get made because DMA Designs, aka Rockstar, will never make a game with Nintendo ever again. Because there's no money in it. Let's see, what else? It's my last one. My third one is I would like a remake of not a remake. I would like a sequel to Chrono Trigger, a direct sequel starring the original characters plus an expanded cast of maybe.
You mean that Chrono Cross wasn't enough for you?
Well, Chrono Cross wasn't even a sequel, but with like 18 to 24 more characters, so you have the original 6. Oh, Chrono Cross. Here, let me put it this way: if Chrono Cross wasn't called a sequel to Chrono Trigger, no one would people would just say it's a solid RPG. But the fact that they tried to connect it to Chrono Trigger was a fucking insult. Because it has.
One of the problems with that game is there's like way too many characters. There's like how many characters in that game?
Well, they had a lot of characters, and most of them were inconsequential. Like there were only like 12 that were actually part of the main story. The way that I think that they could reboot Chrono Trigger, like do an actual sequel, a direct sequel, was first of all you get the original cast, so people are already invested. In order to make this game, in order to make the budget for this game, take like not Unreal, Unity, and use the engine you used for Dragon Quest VIII to remake the original Chrono Trigger. Big huge world. You have your characters, similar battle system, triple text, double text, all that type of cool stuff. But like that, and you can you have New Game Plus, but you can carry over your save from that game to the next game. So you're invested. Like your levels are adjusted. So like let's say you're level 99 for all your characters in the remake of the first Chrono Trigger. When you carry it over, your level goes to like 30. So you start the game as level 30, but you're insanely powerful compared to like the first arc of the game. Like you're kicking everything's ass. It's like, some dude's like, I'm the boss. No, you're not. Die, bitch. I would love to play that game. Extra characters that actually have purpose. And the reason I think they could pull it off is that the thing about Chrono Trigger, the cool thing about Chrono Trigger was going to the different timelines and influencing events in that timeline in order to change the outcome of the overarching what was going to happen in that timeline. So, like, there's this massive desert in the middle of Guardia. You can leave Robo there after you fight the demon that caused the desert in the first place, and he'll plant a giant forest. And when you find him, he's no longer working, but like a piece of amber that's stuck inside of him has turned into a jewel, and you can it gives him a new tech and like cool shit like that. The way I think that you could really kind of up that is make a Chrono Trigger sequel where you have different worlds that have their own timelines, and you recruit characters from those worlds similar to how you did in Guardia with the original Chrono Trigger. So you're talking maybe you're going to be visiting maybe 6, 8 worlds, recruiting maybe 3, 4, 5 characters per world throughout their timeline, trying to save those worlds, ultimately leading to a massive confrontation with some nebulous enemy that you will undoubtedly defeat, and then a New Game Plus, and the fun stuff that we love about Chrono Trigger.
Kenoshi, just because the RPG has wide characters doesn't mean it's bad. Because look at Suikoden 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or 3.
I still have to get through that game. I got that game through less than stellar means, but I need to play through that.
Technically there's 128 characters in Suikoden. Really, you only fight with like 60, 70. But I mean, because every character that joins you either adds something to your castle or unlocks a new feature that you can use. Like you want to collect them all, so that they can, plus they influence the ending of the game. Because if you collect all 128 characters, you get like the best ending, apparently. Allegedly, I've only gotten the best ending in like 3 Suikoden, so yeah.
But I heard like 3 and 4 was like a departure, and then when 5 came out, it was basically like 1 and 2 again. That's what I heard.
3, to tell you the truth, for me, the problem with Suikoden is that you have a rabid fan base for it who just didn't want to see it change. But the same shit that worked in 1 and 2, you couldn't continue to do throughout the entire series. It had to evolve, and that's what people forget about certain RPGs. You have to evolve. Doesn't mean change completely. It just means you have to evolve. Things have to be slightly different. That was 3 games. The 4th game that I would love to see made, but is never going to get made, is a open world. I would make an open world Final Fantasy game.
But wait, Final Fantasy 15. But no, I'm just messing.
No, I mean literally an open world Final Fantasy game where literally like it's like think of it as GTA cross with Final Fantasy. You create your character, you start out in a city, and there is an overarching story. You're a part of it. You can even become the main character, but really you're just some dude trying to make it, or a lady or whatever, because they always have different races and shit. And you can also be a Moogle if you want to. You can make a badass Moogle. Like you can make a Moogle that like maybe he's like 200 years old. He's been in some shit. He's got scars all over his face, an eye missing. He's wearing armor and shit. Like, this is a Moogle getting your ass if you mess with him. It doesn't, this is not going to get made because no one at Square Enix knows how to make Final Fantasy games anymore, so, yeah.
I mean, you have 14, but that's the MMO, so,
Yeah, MMOs don't count. Because even the best MMOs are basically shitty RPGs at the end of the day. They aren't, because an RPG is about your story. MMOs are about everyone's story. It's a massive multiplayer online experience.
So I would say, what if like I know like you can roam around in Mario 64 for example, but imagine they just went full out with the open world Mario. Like in order to get to this world where you can get up to 6 stars, you really have to either run or drive a car or use like a flying power up to get there.
That would be cool, and I think they might do that. But I would love that. Like if you wanted to make it to Big Huge Land, like you could take a pipe there, but you'd have to unlock the pipe. So you'd have to actually at some point you'd have to take the long route to get there in order to unlock the pipe to make it like a quick travel. So that means you'd have to like fly, steal a cloud car, beat the, like do something. Maybe jack one of Bowser's airships and steal that shit and drive it over there. Something. I mean, that'd be awesome. I'd like that. Maybe actually have those coins be useful for something besides just lives. Like you get enough coins, you can buy vehicles. Like I bought a cart. I bought a bullet bill. I can ride this shit. Something like that. I don't know, man. Buy a cannon. You can shoot yourself across there. I'd like that. That'd be an awesome game. I would totally play that game.
Yeah, because it'd be good like if it was if they took like a little hand of like some of the other big open world games, but has that own little unique Nintendo twist to it.
I'd like it. It'd be cool. Just for me personally. Like I'm a huge fan of
Mario.
I'm a huge fan of open world games. Like my other thing that I was gonna say that wasn't the joke one, but it slipped my mind was I would like to see a KOTOR 3, but like yeah, I know everyone. KOTOR 3, it's never going to happen because BioWare is shit now. But I would like to see a KOTOR 3 where it's like, except it wouldn't be KOTOR because KOTOR is called Knights of the Old Republic because it's about the old Republic. I would take it into the future.
Well, Well, since we're on that topic, there's another game that'll never get made, and that's Half-Life 3.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally want a KOTOR 3 set far into the future. Like no one remembers the Jedi. Well, no one remembers the Skywalkers, Darth Vader. Like it's all that stuff is a distant memory, and I would totally play that game.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we've gotten to the end of it. Anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
No, none, no uploads to me for a while. These it's the last 2 weeks of school, so it's that time. You know how it is, Ray. You've been to school or college. Oh God.
Yeah, I don't have anything to pimp out either. Just I was thinking about doing a cast this Friday, but I think a lot of people are gonna be busy these next few weeks, so I'm just gonna hold off for a couple weeks. I'll probably do it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, after May the 5th, I'm basically done. And whatnot. So that's like
Don't
my
do it.
last day.
Don't do it May 6th because people gonna be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out, man. I'm gonna go out and see that movie. Can you?
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna see that. I'm gonna be seeing it. I'll probably see it May 5th. Cause I'm probably there's a movie theater I sometimes go to that shows movies like a few hours early.
I'm gonna
Like,
watch it.
I don't know how they get away with it, but they get away with it. So.
Well, I mean, if it's a small theater, they can kind of like no one's gonna say anything because they aren't losing that much revenue. The only reason I was able to see it, well, we'll talk about this after the cast. So anyway, so no one has.
Here's a dirty secret for anybody who's interested in opening up their own movie theater. You don't make money off of the movies. You don't make hardly anything off the movies. It's the food.
Yep, concessions is where the money's at. And if you have a bar, yeah, the concessions in the bar is where the money's at.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So there we are, folks. We've entered the end of this cast, and for once, we've actually kept stuck to the schedule. As a matter of fact, we're a little bit early. So, good night. I'm glad you guys joined us.
We'll have 15 more topics. No, just kidding.
Oh shit, we got a few questions here, but we can run through these. This is from Nova Region. Third parties have betrayed the confidence of the Nintendo consumer. Do you believe that they can find success on future Nintendo consoles? Perhaps the better question to ask is whether they want to tap into that audience when the next generation launches. That's the big question, Nova. I mean, like, how many times can third parties treat us like let's say Nintendo is a supermarket, and we go in there and there's like the store brand, which is the Nintendo brand, and then there's third party brand, which is like other brands, right? And the other brands, like, we get the Oreos, we open them up, and someone's eating half the damn Oreos, but they charge us full price for it. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? But then we get the Nintendo brand, and it's actually just like the Oreos, in some cases better than the Oreos, and we get the full experience. That's how it is, except they've been doing this shit for 20 years, giving us the leftovers, and he's charging us full price for it. It's, I mean, you'd stop going to that store, wouldn't you? That supermarket. After a while, you'd be like, I mean, that's why Nintendo's lost a lot of their things. It's not because, oh, I don't like their games. You lying motherfuckers, because you want their IPs on your thing. If you didn't love their games, you wouldn't give a shit about their IPs. Like, no one was like, oh, Atari's going bankrupt. Oh, woe is me. No one cares. Oh, well. Sorry, Nova. Next question. Do you feel Suicide Squad will be the course correction needed for the DC Cinematic Universe to succeed? Marvel is hitting on all cylinders with their movie properties, and unfortunately, DC has yet to find stable footing. Who wants to tackle that question?
Oh goodness. Talk about that's we can go all night with that.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is this. The only thing that'll save the DC Cinematic Universe is to get rid of Zack Snyder. Either that or get a really good producer to stand over his shoulder and make sure he doesn't fuck up too badly. Unfortunately, Nolan couldn't control him, so... And there was no... Like, Zack Snyder both directed and produced this film, Batman v Superman, so... Like, the only thing you can do is just get rid of Zack Snyder. Like, once Zack Snyder leaves, they'll have someone else take control who can probably steer. Like, I guarantee you, the Batman film that Ben Affleck is probably going to direct that's going to star him as Batman is probably going to be way better than the shit we got from Zack Snyder. I guarantee it. I sound like Louisiana Ship. I guarantee it. That's the only way. And we have another question. I think Nintendo should get with the times. I want them to have 1,000 developers all around the world to make a mainline, watered-down Zelda game every year. Isn't that what everyone wants? NL Piano, you're asking, like, Anderson Archilla questions, man.
I also want people to quit complaining about Nintendo doesn't bring out enough games. You know, they always complain like, oh, why isn't Nintendo? Well, again, you know, third party was there to help Nintendo to save time so they could make games. So that was the purpose of third party was to pad out the time for the real game developers to make stuff, and then, you know, I don't know, people just don't get it.
Well, you're right. Like, basically, the problem, one of the big problems with the industry is the sense of entitlement that a lot of the bigger third parties have, to where they think that the industry should march to the beat of their drum. And, you know, I'm an old school gamer. I don't think third parties should dictate the direction of the industry. First party should dictate the direction of the industry. But because Sony and Microsoft have no balls in terms of the gaming industry, they basically let the third parties control where everything went. That's why you have these two consoles that use x86 architecture and need to be fucking upgraded halfway through their life cycles because third parties are like, it's not powerful enough for us. It's not powerful enough for us. This is what we got. So, you know, like, I'm tired of gamers. Oh, we need third party. You want a third party. You don't need third party. Like, I never bought a console for a third party game. Never. I got a Sega Genesis for Sonic the Hedgehog. I got a N64 for the Nintendo games. Yeah, the third party games were nice, but I got it for first party. I got an NES for Mario and Zelda and Samus and Zelda 2.
Oh, God.
And those are third party. I mean, those are first party games. I got a PlayStation for, ironically enough, to play Spyro the Dragon. Like, I've never bought a console for third party games. The reason I got a PS2 was so that I could play Ratchet and Clank and Crash Bandicoot. And then I also got a lot of third party games as well, but I mean, that wasn't the sole reason I got the fucking system. So people need to stop buying systems for third party games. I'm sorry. You just got to be strong and stop taking that shit, because third parties, you know, whatever. Anyway, we've hit the end of our show. We've gotten all the questions. We have one last question from NL Piano, but it's not really a question, it's a statement. I think the real question is, does Nintendo need to be popular? I would say no. NL Piano, you're right. They only need to make money. That's it. So with that, we've hit the end of our cast. Final little bit of questions. Thank you for joining us. We managed to finish on time, a little bit early because we started a little bit late. So thank you. It's because of you guys that we're able to do what we do. And peace out.